mysteries have plots. I'm not sure I can do that. And so I said, what's the easiest possible kind of book I could write for Craftfest? You know, no point making it hard. And so I thought, well, for me, perhaps a historical novel would be the right thing. Because I was a research professor, I knew my way around a library. Said it seems easier to look things up than to make them up. And if I turn out to have no imagination, I can steal things from the historical. I said, fine, historical novel. Where shall I set this? Because I've got no background in history, just the 6 hours of Western civilization they make you take as an undergraduate. So, you know, any time would have done as well as another. I'd have to look it all up anyway. So I was looking for a time and place in which to set this hypothetical novel. And I was thinking, oh, you know, American Civil War, Italian Renaissance, which seems interesting. And in this malleable frame of mind, I happened to see a really old Doctor Who rerun. You are Whovians. For those who are not clapping and giggling, Doctor Who is a really old, really long-running show. Yeah. It's done in the UK. It was originally a fantasy show aimed mostly for kids, but it's gotten increasingly adult and increasingly better as well. So it's been running for at least 60 years now. And the Doctor gets reincarnated periodically just to account for the changing actors. They kind of age. The Doctor is a time lord from the planet Gabaldon, who travels through space and time, having adventures, and along the way he picks up companions from different periods of Earth's history. And in this very old show, which had been done 55 years ago, he picked up a young Scotsman from 1745. Well, this was a nice-looking young man, 18, who appeared in his kilt. I said, well, that's kind of fetching. So I was still thinking about this the next day in church. If you want to write a book, it doesn't matter where you start it. The important thing is, you know, pick a point, get started. So I said, fine, Scotland, 18th century. So that's where I began. Knowing nothing about Scotland or the 18th century, having no plot, no outline, and no characters. Nothing but the rather vague images conjured up by the notion of a man in a kilt. Which is, of course, a very powerful and compelling image. This part of the story always goes better if there's a man in a kilt in the front row. Yes, it's, yeah, you don't have No, I'm not did enough anyway. Now, we always but back to Germany on one occasion. I've always gotten along well in Germany. And for Breath of Snow and Ashes, that was a very lucky book for me. It opened at #1 on the bestseller lists of 4 countries at once, which is cool. Wow. I have great hopes for MOBY. Also, it won me several awards, including a Quill Award in the science fiction, fantasy, and horror category. Wow. Which I won, beating out both George R.R. Martin and Stephen King. Wow. On this occasion, it also won me the Corina International Prize for Fiction, which is very cool too. And so